Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Thank you so much for letting us share with you our opinion concerning this resolution. I'm Reverend Charles Leister, and I represent the BREAD organization here in Central Ohio. We support this resolution approving a COVID-19 Recovery Act grant with St. Stephen's Community House. Youth employment provides great opportunities to help young people learn and have developmental valuable skills. Summer jobs can also help some youth contribute to their family's household income, allowing them to aid their parents with financial support as inflation puts a strain on many of us. We applaud the county for millions of dollars you invest in housing solutions and social services each year. At the same time, professionals tell us that you can contribute all the money in the world to social services, but if people don't have safe, decent, affordable housing to go back to, the services are not as valuable. From a personal experience perspective, working as a teacher and in administration in the school systems, we observed that many of our students' issues that they were facing found their way back to the situation where their housing was not stable or decent or affordable, and as a result of that, many things that they were facing in terms of, as you mentioned, President Crowley, mental health issues, in terms of the stress that they face of not having a stable home, the fear of being evicted, or the fear of having to move to a new area because they can't afford the rent, and having to find new friends and new schools, issues of dealing with mold and mildew and infestation that faces their stress levels, possibly the stress levels of their parents or adults in their home that resulted in them coming with actual their own behavior being affected by that. And so because of this, we continue to call upon the county commissioners with other housing advocates in Central Ohio to allocate 1/3 of the county's American Rescue dollars, plan dollars, to affordable housing. To this point, we are disappointed that the county has not yet done this, and we urge you to allocate those dollars immediately and not to wait until the deadline. From the county's website, we have seen that you have utilized some dollars, I believe 9 million to go to housing, and 34 million has gone to social services. We aren't saying don't fund social services. We understand the value of that. But what we are saying is we need to recognize the issues within our community for affordable housing, and to find ways to find more resources to allocate those funds as needed. A lot of the professionals in our research, as well as the Curran Institute at Ohio State University, indicated that the issue of affordable housing is a $1 billion problem within Franklin County and Central Ohio. And therefore, because of that, President Crowley, our housing committee wants to work with you to move forward on having the county allocate 1/3 of the rescue dollars on housing solutions. And we wish to meet with you by July 1st, if possible, and also all the other commissioners, Commissioner Grady and Commissioner Boyce, to share with you our research and to see how we can work together to expand the funding of affordable housing. Thank you for our time and speaking with you today.
Thank you, Reverend, and thank you for your comments. Let me just say, I appreciate you being here today and your continued advocacy for BREAD and for housing. You asked if we could speak by July 1st. I've already had 2 meetings with your organization. One just this past, my team I think 3 weeks ago, and then myself and about 10 individuals from BREAD about 2 months ago. And we talked about housing, we talked about sustainability, we talked about a number of things. And in that conversation, I reiterated the ongoing efforts that the county has in response to affordable housing. And I mean, Administrator Wilson can talk to that, as well as Deputy County Administrator Eric Janis, in all of the ways that we support affordable housing, whether it's projects and building projects that provide wraparound services, permanent supportive services, rent and utility assistance that we continue to do, because we do understand that housing is foundational, but also making sure that people have all of the things that they need to be anchored in the community and move up an economic mobility ladder. So we've already had the conversation. But happy to meet with Brett again before, as my schedule allows, since we already just had 2 meetings. When we get back to the resolution and the opportunities that, and I'll just say I'm one of 3. And so I know you all just had a meeting, a large conference a couple weeks ago where you put my name on the agenda about housing, but I work with Commissioner Boyce right here, as well as Commissioner O'Grady, and so we're a board of 3. So I hope that you all will make plans to meet with my colleagues in effort to talk about all of the initiatives that you all have. But when it comes to resolution 41222 and the Pathways to Progress program, I just want to underscore what my colleague said as far as giving our youth opportunities to thrive, and that shows up in many ways, and we see all of our investments in our youth as multi-generational investments. As you talked about your business partner and what he was able to do with an opportunity, we want to make sure that every child in Franklin County has the same opportunities to thrive and not just survive. And so I will open it up to my colleagues if they have any additional questions, or Commissioner O'Grady, if you would like to speak to this resolution.
Is Commissioner Boyce not around?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. No, I think folks who know me know what my opinion of the Bread organization is, and I think the Bread organization knows what my opinion of the Bread organization is. Franklin County is doing an enormous amount of work in the area of housing. The 3 county commissioners are personally committed, more so maybe than any other issue that I know of. We are committed to the housing issue. Nobody needs to school us on housing. Nobody needs to demand things of us in the area of housing. We not only have we done a huge amount in the area of housing, we're going to continue to do more in the area of housing. We work with experts at the county courthouse. We work with experts in the industry. We work with experts at the city, state, and federal level. We work with our colleagues across the state of Ohio, and we work with our colleagues across the United States. So, we are doing yeoman's work in the area of housing, and we will continue to do that. We are committed to this. We have spent millions. We will continue to spend millions. So that's my thoughts. That's enough said.
Madam President, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Thank you once again for coming down, Pastor, and certainly share our gratitude to the Bread organization for its advocacy in Central Ohio on a really important issue. I think, fundamentally, I think everything's been said. Affordable housing is at the crux of what we will really have to address over the next 20 years as Central Ohio grows by over 1 million people. And it's something that I know all of the mayors in Central Ohio, all the suburb city councils in Central Ohio, and all of the people in Central Ohio, businesses, are thinking about and are trying to find ways to address that shortage. That being said, one of the things as elected official, I think our greatest challenge is to have to take what is limited resources and make a lot of important decisions for a lot of important issues. And it will always be a challenge to find a way to spread that resource around best we can to address all of the issues. And so I want to encourage Bread to continue to engage with us, continue to communicate with us, but moreover, to create an atmosphere of creativity and approach to this. The Bread organization as an institution can also join in the effort of affordable housing. We see a number of churches that are taking on this tough issue to work with us to try to solve this issue. I'd certainly love it if we had a money tree somewhere or money printing press somewhere in this building, and certainly we would churn out all the resources to do that. But we've got to make a lot of decisions, and so I think we really agree fundamentally on this issue of affordable housing and where it ranks and the importance. The challenge is that we've got limited resources, and we've got a lot of need for a very vastly growing Central Ohio. And I can tell you, I talked to county commissioners all over the state and even country for that matter, and they'd love to have our challenge, but it's still a challenge. And so I can assure you that, I don't want to speak on behalf of my colleagues, but I will. So I can assure you that we are committed and dedicated to this conversation, and your ideas are welcome, and hopefully your partnership is welcome. So thank you so much for coming down today on behalf of the institutions that you represent and the folks that are engaged with your organization.
In conclusion, I just want to thank Madam President for the opportunity to share with the commissioners, and thank you for the meetings we've had with you. They've been beneficial, and we're looking forward to that. As we've said, we're looking to work with the county and commissioners to find solutions and things that we can work together and support, and not only from your perspective, but also from our own research, and to see how we can move forward in terms of addressing such a major crisis. Thank you, and we look forward, as I mentioned earlier, to meet not only with you and what we can learn and grow and support together and work on together, but also with the other commissioners, and for the opportunities and time to be able to meet with you. Thank you so much for the time and for your comments.
Absolutely, thank you so much.